Hey there everyone, and welcome to this unusual setting. Just having a cup of coffee here, and I thought I'd just do a quick video on a couple of the upcoming IPOs coming up in 2019. And the ones I will cover are Uber, Palantir, Airbnb, and Lyft. So they're all sort of tech/app companies, and I'll start off with my thoughts on Uber. Now, I've said in previous videos that I don't want to invest in single app or single website companies. You know, companies who that makes all their revenue from this one thing that is not necessarily proprietary. It's just an app. You know, someone could come along and make a different app doing the same thing. So I do have my reservations for companies like Uber. So the IPO, we don't know what the valuation will be, but it can be the highest possible is about $120 billion, which would make it one of the biggest IPOs in history. I don't think it's going to go that high. I'm not sure though. The company is still not turning a profit, so that would be a crazy valuation. It has about 100 million registered users worldwide, and in the US at least they have about 69% market share, which is great. That's a really high market share in the US, but I would like to see how that market share has developed over the years and whether they've lost market share to Lyft, which I assume they have since Lyft started as well. The company has raised about $22 billion in venture capital from 18 rounds. That's a lot of money. So $22 billion, they should have been able to do a lot with that money, and they have, but it is an expensive business to operate. They have to expand into other companies, new countries. They have to pay a lot of money in legal fees and just paying people to set up their operations legally. So there are quite a few barriers to entry when it comes to this stuff, because there's a lot of regulatory and legal issues around it. Well, not issues, but hurdles to overcome. Some of the notable investors, now I don't know how much money these companies have put in. We have Toyota, the public Saudi investment fund. It's not the oil fund, it's some other fund, I think. SoftBank, which is the Chinese bank, I believe, and Sequoia Capital, which is like it's a private equity firm, I think, investment company at least, pretty big. So those are some big investors. I'm pretty sure Toyota has also partnered up, so they're not just an investor, they're a partner. Toyota being the second biggest auto company in the world or something. The problem is that the company has a net loss, and the loss has been steadily increasing over the years. So I believe they're down to negative $2.8 billion. Oh, hey, I just want to say hello. So they've got about minus $2.8 billion in net loss. It's the worst I've ever seen. And they have $6.5 billion in revenue. So they're losing more than a third. And those are 2016 numbers. Most of these numbers are going to be 2016. They haven't released anything since then, and we're probably going to have to wait for the IPO for the rest. Now, I'm no stranger to companies losing money or staying around zero intentionally, like Amazon used to do. I'm not sure this is the same case. I don't know if the loss is due to Uber actually really struggling really bad and just burning through cash, as we say, which means they're not just simply reinvesting it. Like it's not a choice. They're not choosing, oh, we're just going to reinvest. We're going to stay at a small loss, but whenever we want to, we can just open the floodgates and we're going to be positive. This loss has been increasing. And the revenue is not that big. It's not a very revenue heavy business. I mean, Uber itself is not making that much money, and they've raised so much money, so you would believe that they would be able to turn a profit with $22 billion invested in the company, maybe even more, and they're still losing a boatload of money. So I'm not sure what that's all about. It is still a very young company, so it's not that concerning. There's a lot of companies losing money, like Snapchat used to lose money, Amazon, Twitter, Uber, and I'm pretty sure some of these IPOs are going to be negative on their balance sheet. But it will be interesting to see the rest of their balance sheets. How much cash have they saved up? How are their margins, and so on. Now, the company operates in 785 cities, which sounds like a lot, but on the global scale, it's not that much. There's still a lot of cities to go. And this is 2016 numbers, so by now they're probably up to 1,000 at least, I would imagine. So it's a good number. It's a good number, but 6.5 billion revenue over once, probably close to 800 cities. Not that impressive. So I'm interested in seeing how big the market actually is. What is the potential? And is the market growing because of Uber and Lyft doing well? Or is it expanding because less and less people are taking taxis, and they're sort of Uber and Lyft just being around means they're expanding the rideshare market, or the unofficial taxi market, because people know it's an option now. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. They have about 12,000 employees. That's a pretty massive number. I didn't know they had that many. And I'm guessing that's employees. That's not drivers. It's employees, I believe. And they do offer other services. Uber, like Uber Eats, is a whole different thing, where they deliver food when they're driving or during downtime. And of course, Uber also offers a plethora of services like Uber Black, Uber Boat, Uber Flash, Uber Go, Uber Kids, Uber Pets, Uber Pools, Uber Flash, Espanol, whatever. So you can get a cheap car, an expensive car, a Spanish driver. You can get a boat. You can get one that has a pet cage in it, whatever. They also used to do autonomous driving research, but I think they discontinued the research project in 2018. So they gave up on it. I mean, let's be honest, there are other companies that will get there first before Uber. You know, I don't think Uber has the resources. I don't think don't have the money. They don't have the numbers. They don't have the data. They don't have the automobile know-how. So I think that was a good choice, giving up on autonomous driving. They can just jump on the bandwagon whenever the other companies figure it out, right? I think Uber is a classic example of a company that will use autonomous driving, but they're not going to be the ones developing it, or making it real. So I'm not an investor in Uber. I'm not going to buy the IPO. It's not a bad idea, but it is a huge company, raised a lot of money. They've had plenty of years to develop. They're still losing a boatload of money. It's going to be probably a hefty valuation. They have strong competition in Lyft. There is nothing proprietary, so there's nothing unique about Uber. Anyone can do what Uber does. The cost for customers to change company, like change from Uber to Lyft, is zero. So they can have a bunch of taxi apps on their phone, and whoever is closest, they're just going to use that one. So I'm not sure they're going to have the greatest customer loyalty, and it's not a revenue heavy company. So just like Twitter or Snapchat or whatever, or Airbnb, I think they are struggling with actually making money, making a lot of money. So there's a lot of work coming in, very little money coming back. So I'm not an investor in Uber. Let me know if you guys are. Are you excited? And I'll just wait out the 10 minutes now. See you guys in my next video. Drop a comment. Let me know if you want to see more of these casual rant IPOs videos, and I'll see you.